Hughie and A-Train settle the score. Homelander visits the Vought labs. The first phase of Sage's plan is complete. Episode 4 of Season 4 has brought the most twists and turns so far. Stay until the end of the video to catch all the details and Easter eggs behind this episode. Welcome to Comic Chronicles. The episode opens at Vought Labs, and we can tell something is wrong when all the cameras stop working. Suddenly, the elevator begins to descend to the lab floor, and we anticipate that Homelander is arriving. But what we didn't expect is that he would appear with an ice cream pie in hand, saying he's there to catch up with everyone. The atmosphere is tense, and it's clear everyone feels something bad is going to happen. After all, it's Homelander. At Billy Butcher's house, while he showers, we see something moving in his body, walking along his spine, causing Butcher to pass out. As he falls, he hits his head on the shower faucet. He starts having hallucinations of his wife, Becca, who tells him to get up because the world won't stop just because his life is ending. In the hospital, Hughie struggles to accept that his father is dying, and the doctor suggests removing the feeding tubes, as his father's condition meets the criteria for brain death. His mother says it's the most humane thing to do and something his father would have wanted, but Hughie refuses to accept it and considers using Compound V to save his father's life. Starlight meets with Bob Singer in his campaign office to make a proposal. Bob initially doesn't listen, but he reconsiders when she points out that his campaign's investment won't reach the 50 million voters needed to pass the super control bill, but he could with her and the Starlight's help. All she wants in return is for him to finish what he started and finally take down Vought. Colin finally tells Frenchie what happened to his parents, and to his surprise, Frenchie discovers that Colin was also there, hiding under the bed, while he was killing his family. Colin says he didn't see the killer's face but remembers some burned scars on his ankle, which worries Frenchie, who now knows it's only a matter of time before he's discovered. Firecracker sets up a stage right in front of Starlight House to expose news against Starlight all day long, with national TV coverage on the Vought channel. To retaliate, Mother's Milk calls Billy Butcher to find out Firecracker's motivations and secrets. Back at the Vought lab, while everyone eats the ice cream pie, Homelander starts reminiscing about moments he spent there with each one of them, as they experimented on him as a child and teenager to train, test, and control him. He says he has many nightmares about it, and even though he was resistant to the experiments and tests, they still hurt and caused him pain. Homelander begins to expose what each scientist did, one by one. The scientists beg for his forgiveness, but he's determined to make them see what they did to him and punish them for it. Hughie goes to the docks with Kimiko to meet an informant, who turns out to be A-Train. Hughie tells A-Train he needs a dose of Compound V. A-Train refuses because Sage is watching him and Homelander would kill him if he found out that A-Train broke into his house to get a dose. Hughie tells him he owes him for everything he's done since killing his girlfriend. A-Train asks if they will be even if he gets the Compound V. Hughie says yes, so A-Train runs off. Kimiko argues with Hughie, saying he shouldn't trust one of the supers and definitely shouldn't use Compound V on his father because it's too dangerous. While they argue, Tala and the Light Army appear to take revenge on Kimiko for destroying one of their bases in the previous episode. They try to run, but Hughie ends up tripping and injuring his foot, preventing them from fleeing. Kimiko helps him to a room, improvises a splint for his foot, and makes a shield with a metal filing plaque and a utility knife so he can defend himself while she fights. Kimiko and Hughie manage to defeat the army, leaving only Tala, who recognizes Kimiko and says she hates her for kidnapping her when she was younger to fight for the Light Army. Until now, we only knew that Kimiko had been held captive by the army, but it seems she also helped them recruit more girls. While Mother's Milk and Butcher try to find something incriminating against Firecracker, they discover she slept with an underage boy and threaten to post the photo proving it on Twitter unless she reveals Sage and Homelander's plans. Instead of taking the deal, Firecracker posts the confession and crime herself on national TV, saying that her life changed completely because of it and that she was saved by God, who showed her the right path that day. Then, she reveals Starlight's hospital records, proving she had an abortion 6 months ago, claiming she is a fraud and not the hero everyone thinks she is. Watching it all on TV, Starlight becomes furious that Firecracker exposed her medical records. She flies to Firecracker and beats her until she falls to the ground, stopping only when Mother's Milk intervenes and shows her that everyone is watching on TV. After that, Bob Singer contacts Starlight and says that because of what happened, he can no longer be associated with her in his campaign or the bill. Sage celebrates, as the first phase of her plan to take down Starlight seems to have worked. Before we continue, if you're a fan of The Boys and want to stay updated on all the details and Easter eggs of the series, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. This helps us keep the channel running and helps us reach our goal of the first 1,000 subscribers. Also, I invite you to check out our playlist dedicated to The Boys, where we cover all the details of the 4th season. Thank you very much. A-Train breaks into Homelander's house to look for Compound V, but when he finds it, Ashley catches him. They both realize that if anyone tells Homelander, they'll be in trouble, so they decide to forget it ever happened. Butcher and Frenchie break into Firecracker's trailer to try to find something useful, but they're ambushed by Ezekiel, who blows Frenchie out the window and knocks Butcher unconscious. When Butcher wakes up, he sees Ezekiel in pieces, and he was the one who did it, though it's not yet clear how. Later, Colin tends to Frenchie's injuries, but Frenchie can't bear the guilt and confesses what he did to his family. Colin panics, trying to understand how he could do such a thing, hits Frenchie, and tells him never to come near him again. The Deep goes to Sage to try and understand why she alternates between liking him and treating him harshly, as she did earlier in the episode during a Vought meeting. She explains that her brain, unlike others, doesn't stop growing, making her exceptionally intelligent. Furthermore, her brain constantly regenerates, which is why she uses that lobotomy tool we mentioned in the last episode, confirming our theory. A-Train delivers the Compound V to Hughie as promised, and finally, after seeing their feud since the beginning of the series, they reconcile. Butcher sees what happened and thinks Hughie is siding with the Supers, but Hughie explains that he made a deal with A-Train because it was the only way to save his father's life using Compound V. Additionally, he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life harboring a grudge against someone. Butcher understands but says it's a terrible idea because the compound will only make things worse. He knows this from experience since he tried using V to cure himself but only became sicker. Hughie goes to the hospital and sees that his father is already off the feeding tubes. He takes the Compound V but thinks about what Butcher said and decides against using it. However, when he goes to get a coffee from the hospital vending machine, his mother, who coincidentally works as a Vought representative, injects his father with the Compound V, which revives him. Back at the Vought labs in the final scene, we see the trail of destruction Homelander left after spending the day reliving his childhood traumas with the lab scientists, sparing only Barbara, the scientist in charge of the lab. This episode was truly full of twists and turns, and I can't help but mention the incredible performance of Anthony Starr as Homelander. The scene where he gives that anguished laugh is sensational. The way Homelander demonstrates the immense suffering he felt is award-worthy. The acting was perfect. In these scenes involving Homelander, it clearly shows that now nothing is holding him back. He has lost what little humanity he had left. Kimiko recruiting for the Light Army was a plot twist for me, but I have to say that Kimiko without Frenchie isn't as interesting to watch. The chemistry between the two characters is very good. Regarding A-Train's redemption, it ended up being different from the comics. In the comics, Hughie does indeed take down A-Train, but here they went a different route. Commenting on Butcher now, we still don't know what happened in the trailer. Butcher probably awakened powers while he was unconscious, but this is just my theory for now. What we know is that something moves through his body whenever it happens, and Butcher either passes out or starts hallucinating. While previous episodes this season had few action scenes and more strategy moments, this episode had its strategy moments but surprised with its action scenes and character relationships, making the atmosphere even tenser. Do you agree with me? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications to follow the details of the upcoming episodes of The Boys Season 4. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.